Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is your Lolo Groovy once again. Our project for today is we're gonna work on our car, our Kia Soul. We're gonna change the front and the rear disc brake. Oh no, brake pads. Hi, nice seeing you again. This is your Lolo Groovy and welcome back to my channel. Our project for today, we're gonna change the brake pads or Kia Soul 2020 edition. So what I did is I bought original parts. I bought this patch from Kia. It's kind of expensive, but I think it's worth it because I want to save my rotor and I don't want to scratch it or damage it. So I don't want to buy an aftermarket parts. So maybe later in the future, when the rotor is damaged already, then I'm gonna replace everything, rotor and brake pads all together in one. So stand by, sit tight, and you're watching. So always support your jack with a jack stand. It's important. Safety first. Okay, now let's start the project. After removing the tire, spray the brake parts with brake cleaner. This will prevent dust from flying up when you disassemble the parts. But avoid spraying too much on the rubber boots. Linisin natin maigi para hindi natin masinghot ang mga alikabok pag ito'y ating kinalas. Use a 14mm wrench to remove the bolt that holds the caliper. Dalawang 14mm bolts lang yan, makaknaya, tanggal na yung caliper. After removing the two 14mm bolts, you can now remove the caliper. With a piece of wire, secure the caliper to avoid damage to the brake hose. Gumamit tayo ng alambre at itali natin ang caliper para hindi masira yung brake hose. Clean and inspect the rubber boot for leaks. Remove the brake pads on both sides of the rotor. As you can see, the brake pads are so thin and already needs to be replaced. Ikumpara mo sa bagong brake pad, talagang napakanipis na niya. So, time to change the brake pads. Before installing, lightly sand the surface of the brake pad. Bago natin ikabit, lihain natin ng konti para maalis yung mga konting imperfection niya. And brush all the area and make sure that the area is clean before installing the anti-rattle clips. The anti-rattle clips prevent the brake pads from vibrating and making noises. Importante ang anti-rattle clips para tahimik ang preno kapag ito'y ating inaapakan. Apply a small amount of lubricant to the parts that comes in contact with the anti-rattle clips. But avoid putting grease on the brake pads or otherwise it won't work. Lagyan natin ng konting lubricant yung mga parte na dumudulas doon sa ating anti-rattle clips. Ito'y makakatulong din para lalo siyang tahimik at walang tunog pagka siya'y ipinipreno. Remove the cap of the brake fluid container before compressing the piston. Tanggalin natin yung takip para madali siyang i-compress. After compressing the piston, install the caliper back to its place and tighten the two 14mm bolts. So pagkatapos i-compress yung piston, ibalik yung caliper at higpitan yung dalawang 14mm bolts at tapos na tayo sa ating sasakyan. Sa unahan, sunod naman yung likod. Okay? We finished replacing the front brake pads. Now let's go to the rear. The step-by-step procedure in changing the rear brake pads is just the same as changing the front brake pads. The only difference is when you compress the piston to the cylinder. Because to do this, you need a special tool. So I invite everybody to watch the video so you can familiarize yourself with the parts. And at the end of the video, I will show you how I compress a piston with a simple homemade tool. Mga knayab, panoorin nyo lang itong video na to at hindi ko na inanarate ang bawat step. Pero pareho rin ang pagkalas ng likod at harap para mapalitan nyo ang brake pads. And before I forget, these are the two springs that help separate the pads from the rotor. So this is how the rear piston looks like. It has like a 4-groove, and you need a special tool to fit in those grooves so you can turn it clockwise. And I made an adapter out of socket wrench. It's a 13x16 socket. The adapter fits perfectly fine on the groove of the piston. And with a pair of pliers, turn it clockwise while compressing it. Para makompress mo itong piston na to, kinakailangan pipihitin mo siya clockwise. So gumawa ako ng simple adapter para maipihit ko siya. Position the groove of the piston to line up with the slot on the brake pads. And there you are, after tightening all the nuts, install the tires, and you're good to go. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please support my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and have a pleasant day ahead. God bless us all.